Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And yes, there is a 1984 US nickel that PCGS values at $25,000. And we'll look at that in a little while actually on the PCGS website. But first let's start with the three nickels that the United States made in 1984. They made the proof nickels at the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia Mint made regular circulating nickels, and then the Denver Mint made regular circulating nickels. At the Denver Mint, they made 518 million nickels, and this is a very, very good example of the Denver Mint nickel right here. You see it says, "In God We Trust" in front of Jefferson. We see Jefferson here in the center facing to the left. Really good detail here. Little tiny bits of color on here. Great detail around the eyes and the mouth. Back here, some pretty good detail. The FS down there for Felix Schlag, who's the engraver of this coin. And then there's a D there for Denver. Liberty behind Jefferson with a beautiful star in 1984. This is a smooth edge coin. It is a nickel, a copper nickel coin. If we get to the back of it, we see that it says E Pluribus Unum at the top. And then down here we see it says United States of America, 5 cents, Monticello. And we are really, really close to having full steps on here. We have at least 4 full steps, but I think that bottom one doesn't quite go all the way across. And that's where the money goes in these coins. So even though this is a beautiful, beautiful coin, it's a little tiny bit scratchy. It's got a little bit of stuff on it that probably came from the packaging. And it has about probably 4.5 steps on it. This is probably somewhere around a mint state 65 or so, and is probably worth less than $30. If you get this in a mint state 65 and you have all the steps, it's worth $32. PCGS has a mint state 67 plus full steps on their website. Let's take a look at that and see if we can figure out why it's worth $25,000. So here it is from the PCGS website, and you can see the website address right up here at the top. You can see just the coloring and how amazing it is. Now, that's why you may go from one that looks like it's probably worth about $1,500 or $2,500 or even $7,000 or $8,000 to one that's worth $25,000, because you just can't get a patina like that on a coin very often. And it's just an amazingly nice patina. Also, it's really hard to get steps like that on a coin. Almost never. Even though you can have full steps coins, it doesn't mean they're going to look as good as the full steps on this one. And then when we go over to the side and look down to see what the cost is, we see the auction record is $1,440 for mint state 67 full steps. This, of course, is the mint state 67 plus full steps. And then if we go down a little further over here, you'll see that from mint state 67 plus full steps, PCGS values it at, for the price guide, $25,000. But for the mint state 67, they value it at $13,500, even though an NGC graded mint state 67 sold for $1,400. So either PCGS grading is worth a lot more, or PCGS has decided that when one looks this beautiful, it's worth a lot more money, maybe 5 or 10 times as much as it would be if it didn't have this patina on it. Okay, so this one's not worth $25,000, and probably there's no other ones in the world that would be worth $25,000, because you just can't get that kind of patina on a nickel coin. It's a 1 in maybe 50 or 100 billion kind of coin. What about the Philadelphia Mint? Well, here's the Philly right here with the P, and of course it's from the 1980s, so we know that the P is going to be pretty filled, and it's not going to be a very detailed P. We also see this one missed a little bit up here in the corner of it. Very, for a uncirculated coin, this is has a very worn looking rim to it all the way around. We get this one over in the back, and we see that this one doesn't even come close to having the full steps, even though it's a uncirculated coin in really good condition. The Philadelphia Mint, they made $747 million. The auction record for one of these is $276, but at a mint state 65, they were $25. PCGS has a mint state 67 plus. They found 2 so far. They grade those at about $8,000. $25,000 for Mint State 67 plus Philly. I think in part because the D's worth so much, the Philadelphia coin, which has the same grading, is pushed up there a little bit. But if you look at that Philadelphia coin on the PCGS website, you'll see that it doesn't have anywhere near the patina. And lastly, they also made these at the San Francisco Mint, and this is what they call a deep cameo. And there's no question about that. This isn't a regular coin. This isn't a cameo coin. This is a deep cameo coin where Jefferson just pops completely off the front of the nickel. Same thing in God We Trust, same Liberty and Star. And then way down here we see that there's an S. And that S is for San Francisco, the proof coin mint. And then when we get onto the back, we'll see that it will have the full steps, but these aren't great full steps. But almost all of the proof coins from the San Francisco Mint will have the full steps on them. They made 3 million proof sets at the San Francisco Mint. The auction record is $3,738 for proof 70, deep cameo, back in 2007. But PCGS estimates now that a proof 70 deep cameo is probably worth about $95 because after the auction in 2007, they've graded 442 proof 70 deep cameos from the San Francisco Mint. So $95 is pretty much the most you're going to get. There is one other coin, a crazy number coin, which is on eBay, so you might want to take a look at it. We'll show you now this eBay coin that they have. It's called a mutilated die version, certified by NGC, and the seller on eBay is selling it for $50,000. So let's take a look at that. As if that $25,000 nickel from 1984 wasn't enough, here's one on eBay for $50,000. Now, of course, you don't look down here and you see that there's only been 4 transactions by Henry Boy who's selling this, but you do see that it is a mint error struck with mutilated dies, NGC graded, and if we look through some of the other pictures on here, we'll see that it's clearly a mutilated die that we're looking at here, and you can see all this different stuff on it, and just a real mess. And you almost never see one of these. But whether it's worth $50,000 or not is another question altogether. So I guess we shouldn't complain when we see those beautiful patina nickels for $25,000 if this one's selling for $50,000. And I don't have any idea how you would value something like this. But it's for sale on eBay for $50, so feel free to go over there and add it to your cart and buy it. All right, well, chances are if you have a nickel, you have one that's maybe some like this or maybe close to something like this. None of these are worth over $50, but one or two of them may be worth $25 to $35. This one over here, even though it's in incredibly good shape, because it's not a proof 70, is probably worth $5 to $7. All right, good luck coin hunting out there. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel, the DC Coin World International Coin Channel.